What's up, everybody? This is GreyMan here, and today we are going to be looking at the Bluetti EB55. It is one of their newer power supplies slash inverter, solar charger, the many names that they may go by. And I've had this one for a couple of weeks now. I've been playing with it, testing it, and seeing how it goes. And if you can see behind me, I do have these solar panels in regards to connecting this to that. Now, you don't have to have this specific solar panel, but you can have others. But these do come in a combo on their website. And we'll get more into that after we kind of dive into the EB55. Now, this is a 537 watt hour little box here. I'm trying to think of what specifically to call it, because it's just like it's a battery, you know what I mean? But it's a way to charge your devices, and it has 13 different inputs, 12 of them on the front, and then you have a wireless 15 watt input on the top. Now we're going to do a close-up of that stuff there and kind of go into each one of these inputs on the front of this here. I think it's pretty cool. Also, what really stands out to me in regards to this device here, basically, it has a built-in lithium iron phosphate battery. So some folks are saying, well, Gray, what does that mean? So it's not just like your standard batteries that you have in a lot of other ones, like your lithium ion batteries. It's a different type of battery. It's a new battery for devices like this. Some other folks are doing it as well. I think the majority of the industry is probably going to shift to this just because of the longevity of these batteries itself. Now this does, I think, let me see here. I'm looking at the manual here, which you should look at. If you get something like this, you need to really dive into the manual in regards to devices like this, so you can know every inch of your product. But it has 2,500 watts, or 2,500 cycles at 365 days. So if you equate that and do the math, it's 6.8 years. That's if you were to use it daily. If you were to charge it up and discharge it daily, you would get 6.8 years out of this device. Now, that doesn't mean that once that 6.8 years is up, if you were using it daily, that the device is dead. After doing a little research myself, after you reach that 2,500 cycles, your battery still will be down to about 80%. So basically, a lot of folks have looked at this as a lifetime battery in the aspect if you're using it specifically for emergency preparedness, because it's not like you're going to be using it on a daily basis. So just think about that. In general, this is going to be one of those purchases that you may make, and it's going to outlast you pretty much. Maybe you can even hand it down to other folks, depending on how technology increases and changes over time. But anyways, like I said, folks consider it a lifetime battery. Other than that, I'm trying to think of what else I want to dive into before we get up close and personal with this thing, so I can kind of show you guys all the nitty gritties. It does come with a couple of different connectors. As you can see here, this is the AC power block, AC to DC power block that you would plug up here on the front. We'll get close on that as well. Also, this is for a car adapter, so I think that's really awesome. If you're on the run, if you have an RV, car, SUV, bug out vehicle, whatever it may be, you have this option as well. And this is for your solar panels. This is, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to connect all that to this as well and kind of show you the solar panels. What I really like about this unit is you can do dual charging. So I can be running this, I can plug this into my car. Let's say if I'm parked somewhere, I can plug it into my car adapter, right? Charge it that way, and also charge it off my solar panels at the same time. Let's say if I have my solar panels on top of my vehicle to get the maximum sunlight that I possibly can, or if you have a DC or an AC outlet where you're at, and you're charging via AC, you can also do AC and the solar panels at the same time. So I think that's pretty intriguing that you can do dual charging, which will cut down your charging time down about maybe 2 hours
up, folks?
or so.
Real quick clarification, because Gray outside got it wrong. What I meant to say is you can do dual charging via your solar panel to the DC port, and you can do your AC adapter at the same time. You can't do DC and DC at the same time because there's only one port. So you can plug it in via AC and your solar panel and do dual charging that way. All right, so now let's get back to Gray.
At least that's on average what I've noticed when I've been using the product. There was something else I was going to say about that, because let me see, it's almost like you're getting close to about 400 watts of charging power when you do that. I think I was up to like 387, close to 400. So I thought that was pretty intriguing. And like I said, 2 hours. and get a full charge. Now, of course, that's going to differentiate when you use just the solar panels by themselves, or if you're using the the AC charger by itself, or your car charging capabilities. That's all going to change on how long it takes to charge the device. Also, some people are going to ask me a lot of questions in regards, well, what about if you do a maximum load? If you have 13 things connected to this, that's all going to depend on what you have connected to it. And the reason I say that is some people might say, let's say you have a small fridge connected to this, and a coffee maker, and a fan, and a portable heater, your laptop, your phone, and all these other things connected to that. Of course, these machines, these batteries can only put out so much, but they're capable of doing so. Me personally, I would use this for one of my backup freezers. I'd plug in my freezer to it and use that as a backup for my freezer outside of, let's say, my gas power generator or whatnot. But like I said, you can use this for computers, phones, a lot of different things. And in their little book here, I have it sitting here in front of me. They kind of go through a lot of different stuff that you can charge with it, which I thought was intriguing. So that's why I'm saying when you get their pamphlets, you want to look into this because it's going to tell you how long certain things charge. I can look through this. I don't want to make this video like 5 hours long like I usually do with everything else, because people seem to say that I ramble on. But anyways, I'm just looking here because, like I said, they have a bunch of different solar charging times. It gives you a lot of information in these little booklets, and I'm just trying to see if I can find the page where it has that information at. But yeah, so it's like you can find, let's say if you're, if something is running, let's say you're trying to run a fan or something like that, the fan pulls 25 watts, and then you kind of do the math, and you can see how long that would last. Also online, they have that information like here in their little pamphlet here. Common loads and run times. Let's say if you're trying to just do your smartphone, it's 40 to 50 hours. You can get out of it for about 10 watts. LED light bulbs, 20 to 30 hours at 20 watts. A television, 5 to 6 hours at 75 watts. Electronic tools, 5 to 6 hours at 80 watts. A refrigerator, around 4 to 5 hours at 90 watts. Let's say you're going to use a slow cooker. Just saying, you got to cook food, right? And you wanted to use this for something like that, around 2 to 3 hours at 200 watts. So you can see there's a lot of versatility to something like this. To me, it's one of my favorite brands. I know there's a lot of other brands out there like the Jackery and whatnot that you can be familiar with, but at the price point that this comes in, I think this unit itself is around $499, but I think they offer a $50 off coupon with it, so that drops the price, and I think out the door you're looking about $480 and change, tax, tag, and title, and all that fun stuff like that. But I'm wondering if you folks, I want to hear from you folks down in the comments to hear what you guys think of something like this. To me, the Bluetti is a phenomenal brand, and the capabilities are just awesome. Now, let's go ahead and pause this video here at this point, and let's get up and close and personal, kind of go over some of the plugins and stuff like that here up front. All right, I'll see you guys just in a second. Okay, folks, so let's kind of dive into the outputs on this EB55. First, we're going to start off with a 700 watt pure sine wave inverter. Down there you get 4 outputs, 4 AC outputs. It says ranges from 100 to 120 volts at 700 watts. With my testing, I got roughly about 113 volts out of it. That's what I got out of the device itself. Now, then we can move on over to the 12 volt socket connector up on the right hand corner there for DC output. And then right next to that you have 2 5521 barrel connectors, which ran about 13.3 volts max. I do like the aspect of this device has pass-through charging. Basically, if I want to have it plugged in, charging the unit itself, I can also be using the output devices at the same time, which I thought was very convenient and very beneficial in the aspect if you have your solar panel connected to this and you're trying to, let's say, charge your phone and whatnot, you can kind of do a dual purpose thing there. Now, let's move over to the DC output on the USB section of things. And what I liked about that is that you have roughly one USB-C 100 watt output, which to me is awesome. So many different types of devices use USB-C at this day and age. And the fact is that, like, even if you're a content creator, you can use this to, say, charge your drone, your phone, your tablet, or whatever you're doing. But you can see the many types of uses for USB-C. I know a lot of you folks will probably understand that concept. And then below that, we have 4 USB-A connectors as well. So that's awesome as well, I think, personally, having those many options. As you can see, it has you have the 4 USB-A's, the 1 USB-C, the 4 standard US plug outputs, 2 of the barrel connector outputs on the DC, as well as a, as they call it, the 12-volt socket adapter as well. Now let's kind of move on to the input section, which I'm going to show you here, and I'm going to hold this up so you guys can see it inside there. Now, where the yellow connector is, that is an XT60 DC to DC kind of charger, and that's where you would plug in your solar panel or your adapter from your vehicle into that. And then right next to that, you have an 8mm wall adapter for your power supply, which can go in there. Now, like previously, I might have made a statement saying that you can, which I was wrong, but you can charge via solar and AC adapter at the same time, which I thought was really cool. And you can max out, I forget what it is, I got about an average of 380 to almost 400 watts, but on the average about 385 watts of charging capability when I had both of them hooked up. Now we're going to show you here in a second what that looks like. I'm going to plug in one and then plug in the other, and we'll see what we're getting out of our solar first, and then we'll plug in the AC adapter and see what we're getting together and separate and whatnot. Also, if you see these things here, see how it's highlighted in green? Basically, you can push these things on. That's going to, of course, activate the screen. But when you highlight these here, when they're highlighted green, that means this section here is turned on. So I think that's nice. If you want to save power, you can turn these off by pushing that button, and the green light goes out. Also on top here, which you can't really see, you can see my finger tapping on there. That is the 15-watt wireless charging pad. Let's say you have a phone or tablet, anything that's Wi-Fi. Smartwatches and stuff like that have that wireless charging system built into the unit. So you have very many options when it comes to a unit like this. So that being said, let's kind of put in the plug in the solar panel and see what we get out of it right now. And funny enough, I have the solar panel sitting on top of my shade house, which I'm inside right now. We'll see how much sun that we're getting. So let's plug in that adapter first and see what we get. All right, we're gonna let this catch up for a second, and it should give me input. Wow, we're only getting 5 watts, 7 watts. It's picking up. It's gotten really cloudy out here earlier when I tried this, but you couldn't see the screen. I was getting about, I don't know, 40, 50 watts of charge time or input. Now it's all cloudy and I'm only getting about 8 watts. So you know that would take forever. Anyways, my apologies. You can't predict the sun and whatnot when it's going to it. Let me go ahead and touch this here so the screen stays on. So that is the solar there. I'm only getting 9 watts, but you can get a lot better. You have to face your solar panels directly into the sun. Midday would be best on top of the vehicle, or you know, if you have it propped up. That's the only thing I can say about the solar panels themselves, is they don't have a way to prop them up, you know, like some sort of gadget there. But anyways, I'm going to unplug this here, and I'm going to plug in the AC adapter. Let me hold this unit here so I don't push it out. We're going to plug that in there, give it a second, and then you're going to see here on the screen, I have 190 watts of input. There, 203, it's going up. And this is running on an extension cord all the way outside from the house, which is probably about 100 feet of extension power to this. So it is a beefy one. But again, we're going to go ahead and see when we add the solar to it so that you can see that you can use both at the same time. Like I said, optimal to use your solar panels would be, of course, to put in optimal range of the sun. So we are at 204. We're going to let that find its little mark there. We are up to 210, but as you can see, 213. But we are getting dual charging via solar and via AC adapter, which is to me is a very convenient, especially when you're using the sun optimally, unlike myself right now. But you guys kind of get the idea, right? At least I would hope so. Anyways, that kind of breaks down the all the inputs and outputs on there. And like I said, if the screen goes out, you can push any of these buttons. It does it to save power if you want to see what's going on. And also on the screen here, if you notice, it'll say from 20, 40, 60, and 80% up in here to let you know where you're at on charging. It is in eco mode. Also, if you can see that there, which you can set that, is able to pick that up in the instructions. So
I think that about kind of covers that whole thing. Also, one last thing I do want to, let me unplug all this stuff here. I want to show you one last thing with this device. It's not going to show very well in the sunlight, but at night, if you look at the back of this unit here, and you push this button, it has a light that you can see there. I know it might be a little bit blinding, and now you can cycle through this. This is just a regular light. I think it's nice that it's built in there in case you're out camping or whatnot. And then, of course, it has like different brightnesses as well. And then, of course, it has like these different modes. I think it has an SOS mode in there. To me, it almost looks like it has a party mode and whatnot. Then you can, of course, shut it off. But you can fluctuate through those little light things there. Anyways, let's kind of go to a different angle and wrap this up with pros and cons of the Bluetti EB55. And that, again, is the front of it. And let's move on from there. All right, so basically that wraps up my look at the Bluetti EB55. This is the unit here. Like I said, it runs about $4.99, but they do have like a $50 off coupon or whatnot that you can find. And like I said, out the door about $480 some with tax, shipping, or whatnot, depending on where you get it at. I do have it in my Amazon store. Shameless plug, I guess, right? If you want to go from there, you know, because Prime gives you that free shipping and whatnot. And I know I didn't talk too much about the solar panel itself. And if I think I want to say this is the PV120. And I wish I could have done more testing with it, but of course the sun decided not to work with me today. And that's the thing that you have to look at sometimes when it comes into using stuff like this. But I like the aspect that the EB55, again, has multiple ways to charge it via your vehicle, be it AC adapter, be it solar, or using both solar and, you know, AC adapter. So you do have a lot of options with that. Pros and cons, right? Well, pros, it's a phenomenal device from my perspective. I really like the Bluetti products, especially the little EB55. I think it's 12 pounds, 11 pounds, somewhere around there. Very lightweight. You can throw this in your vehicle. I like the carrying case for the solar panels as well. The solar panels are additional cost. I think they have combo pricing for something like this, and you're probably looking at about $800, somewhat around that price range. Depending if you find it on sale or whatnot, or, you know, who knows, Black Friday is coming up in like about 10 months. Right? But anyways, in my head, I think this can be very useful to someone in the preparedness community in the aspect of having alternate sources of power outside of just, let's say, your generator and other things that you may have. To me, it'll come in very handy, and the longevity of a device like this is extremely important. Like I said, the battery chemistry in this is something new, and like I said, I think it's going to be coming out in a lot more devices. What else do I want to say about it? I guess there's only one con that I didn't like about it, and it's not really, I think it's more, so when you plug in the device to your AC power, the AC power adapter has a fan in there. The fan is a bit loud, but when you're in survival mode, I guess who really care about that? But you got to have at least find one con in something. Everything can't be 100% perfect. But if you own one of these EB55s or any other Bluetti products, let me know what you think down in the description. Any cons that you may have found with the devices themselves, or pros, or if you like the product. I'd like to hear anything and everything that you guys have to say about stuff like this when I do reviews of this type. But all in all, I like I said, I give it a thumbs up, to be honest with you. And like I said, outside of the fan noise, a little loud, but you know, it's something that you can deal with. I don't know how many decibels it is, but I just noticed it when I plugged it in when I first got the unit to charge it, that it was a bit excessive. Basically, when I was doing recording in my studio, I had to unplug it because it was a bit loud for my taste. I didn't want it to have any background noise in regards to when I was recording content. Anyways, this video has ran long enough. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this type of content. If you want to see more stuff like this, please let me know down below. And if you got any value out of this at all, please thumbs up. I truly appreciate that. All in all, this is GreyMan. I'm out. I'll see you guys in a rebound. God bless.